Good morning.
Good morning.
Jen, why do you always laugh at me when I do my little intro?
I don't know. You make me laugh. This is why we started this podcast, because every time I hear your voice, I smile and laugh. And I'm not known to smile a lot.
Welcome to the What's the Temp podcast. My name is Betina and I am coming in hot.
My name is Jen and I need to check in so I don't check out.
So let's get into it, Jen. Let's go into the life focus portion of the Love Isn't Enough episode.
Okay.
So the life focus today is understanding that love alone doesn't make a relationship viable, recognizing when to stay and when to go, honoring the complexity of adult relationships. So I know it's a little bit long, but I really feel like that whole part needs to be discussed because have you been in those places where you looked at someone and you loved them with your whole heart, but you still needed to walk away? This could be platonic relationships, like friendships. Have you been in relationship where you looked and said, I love you so much, but where you're going, I can't go with you, or where I'm going, you can't go with me?
I need to defer to your wisdom on this one for this initial section, because you are older than me and have more experience than me, but I'm just also still in this place of receptiveness and curiosity about your experience. So I'm going to turn it around on you yet again and say, Betina, give us the answers to those questions. Do you feel like you've walked away from someone because you love them? And how do you honor the complexity of adult relationships?
It's very hard even when you realize that it's necessary. I've walked away from friendships because I just realized that this is just not good for me. Like, I love differently. It goes away from I love you more than you love me to I love you so differently than you're capable of loving me. Like, my love is a partnership. This is what I'm learning about myself. My love is a partnership kind of love. Like, I want to partner with you in life and projects and whatever it is, like us both becoming the best parts of ourselves. So when I looked at my marriage, I did not have the language to say before we walked down the aisle that all I wanted was partnership. Because there's love, there's the feeling of love, there's the emotion of love, there's the intimacy and all of that. But really, what would have satisfied me more than anything was having someone to build the life with.
Yeah.
Where
You've always wanted that.
That's all I want.
An equal. Yeah.
That's all I want. Because my whole thought is if I'm able to accomplish and do all the things that I'm able to do by myself, oh my gosh, what could I do with a partner?
Yeah.
But I wanted someone to partner, like let's agree, or we don't have to agree on everything, but let's agree on the life that we want. And then both of us do our part to make that happen.
Yeah, a teammate.
I needed a teammate. You've been saying, and a lot of people have been telling me, I'm getting to know you so much better by listening to your podcast, right? And what it is they're finding out that, yes, I'm there for you. Yes, I'm supportive of you. Yes, I want to give you advice. Yes, I want to see you be your best. But they're also learning how they can be there for me, because I didn't realize, and I have like my hand next to my ear right now because like I'm tweaking my brain, because I didn't realize that I wasn't communicating how they could be there for me. Because I'm always looking to pour, even though I have needs too, but I'm not coming into the conversation or into the interaction looking to receive. So remember years ago when I told you, you have some receiving work to do. Remember we had that conversation?
Changed my life.
I didn't realize that on a subtler level,
accurate.
I had the same thing, because coming out of the community season and looking at how I could build community, it's just being receptive. For me, it's being receptive. When people are offering, hey, I'm in your neighborhood because I'm new to the area. I'm in your neighborhood running some errands. Do you need anything? My answer was always no. And then the one time I
Yeah.
said, yeah, I need a drugstore run, you know? And then but how that deepened the connection because I finally received rather than always being ready to give and to pour and to serve.
Yes.
As we age and as we mature, we're learning ourselves better. And as you learn you learn, I've learned that not only do I want to be there for the people that I'm in relationship with, but I want to allow them to be there for me as well. And then when I realize that that's not the kind of person that I'm in relationship with, then I make that decision like, oh, we're very different. And probably because I started in that way, I started, oh, how can I help you? How can I serve you? But to me, I've always thought it was going to be understood that you would see me this way, that I love this way, that I serve, that I cater, that I give,
And
and
you would
that you'll want to
reciprocate.
do the same thing.
Yeah, you cannot assume that.
And when it's not reciprocated
Yeah.
is where the problem comes in. But because I didn't lay the foundation that this is an expectation of mine, I thought it would be understood. And then that was where a lot of the relationships went awry for me.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
So when you think about honoring the complexity of adult relationships, it's just in that place where you recognize that some seasons end, that they don't always have to be as a result of, some sort of acrimony, that it can actually be amicable, and where you can reach out and every 3 months or 6 months and say, hey, I was thinking about you, or happy birthday, or happy anniversary, and be just as happy as if you were as close as you once were 10 years ago. But that it takes a mature look at relationships to know that they're in different stages. You're in a different stage, and then that everybody that comes with you can't go with you. And that's whether it's in a love relationship or in a friend relationship, But I feel like love is honoring what you see. I feel like many, many times people talk about red flags and green flags, right? Many times we see the red flags even in partnerships, friendships, all kinds of things, love relationships. You see the red flags and we ignore them because we want to see the best in people. But to me, a red flag says more about me than it says about them. Like, that's not good for me in this stage of my life. And for that reason, I need to say, hey, is this something that can be worked out, or should we just part ways right here? And either way, you're good.
Now, do you find it easy to approach someone with that type of feedback and that type of confrontation to say, this is not working for me? Is this something that you can work out on your end so that the friendship can continue, or because otherwise I'm out?
I do, but I'm kind of confrontational though.
Yeah.
So I find it easy. I do understand that that's not easy for everyone, but and then I also find that it's what makes it harder is what you want to see out of the relationship. So say if it's someone that you're in a love relationship, like you're building a romantic relationship with them, and then you see the red flags, and then so you don't want to rock the boat, or you don't want to hurt their feelings, or for me, it was always the way that I say things. I find that I can say things clearer and easier and more simplistically with my friends than I can with my romantic partner, because I would turn into mush. I would turn into this little girl. I would turn to straight mush where I'm just like,
Really?
so, and then when I
Really?
get tired of that thing, then I'm a total beast. And I'm like, do you know that you have hurt me 8 times, and I've never spoken about it the first time, you know? So then, but I had to learn to come to this space where it was just easier to bring it up the moment I saw it, because I know my tendency to put TNT on the bridges of
Are
my
you a Gemini
relationships.
rising by any chance?
I don't know anything about zodiac signs, girl.
I feel that we need to ascertain what your rising sign is, because you have a lot of that like dual personality where it's like nice, 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 nice. Now I'm gonna cut a bee.
Yeah. So
there's this evil twin that comes out.
So, but that's only when, what's funny about me, and I've always said this, my brothers and I talk about this. They're like, she never starts the fight, but boy, her finish game is lethal, you know? So I don't pick fights with anyone, and I'm not that person. I don't walk around saying, "Oh, I'm going to get this person." I'm just not that person.
It's just a matter of having these resentments that come from the nice, and then they're trespassing, and then it just festers,
blows up.
and then yes.
So I've had to learn how to, but remember we've talked about having to learn how to use your voice, how my pendulum has gone from one side of being completely silent to the other side of being a bully, to now learning how to say, hey, can we talk about this? You know, or can we chat for 5 minutes, and then just being able to go right into whatever it is, and because it comes from a place of love. And I really, when I'm saying, can we chat about this? That's because I want to keep you in my life. You matter to me. I want us
and that
to
comes
work
through.
this out.
Yes. You do lead with love. Like I find that in my confrontations with you, of which there's been many since the podcast started, it's been a very safe space because you really and truly lead with love. And it's very evident by the way you speak and by the loving way that you hold the other person that you do want to work it out. And that feels really good to the recipient of that, because I'm also kind of confrontational. I don't like it. It's something that I dread, the confrontation, but I'm very willing to have it because I just need that load off. I need that weight off my chest by saying what I'm feeling. I'm just not someone who can hold something in. So I think it's really wonderful that you can have both of those things. You can have this thing is a conflict, and also we're addressing it within a warm embrace of love. That's not easy to walk that line.
Yeah. I wish I'd been this way, 20 years ago, because a lot of my great friendships wouldn't have failed, because I could have said, hey, it bothers me when it was easier for me to tell someone to blow off, than for me to say, it bothers me when or it hurts my feelings when you.
Yeah.
It was easier for me to go off on you than for me to say, please don't do that. But the thing is, now that I'm in this place, I only want to be in relationship with people that can hear me. That's another thing. You can speak and then people aren't receptive, or people can't hear you, or they're just like, she just talking, or just bowl right over what you're saying. And I only want to be in relationship with people where, because if your voice is important to me, I want mine to be just as important to you, or my thoughts or my desires or my needs, my need for partnership, my need for reciprocity, my need for amicability. Like, if we're going to be in this, who wants to be in a relationship with people they're arguing with all the time? Or being criticized by all the time. Like, if we love differently, maybe this isn't our season. You're great, but I can check in with you a couple times a year, and I can love you just as much.
Too. Yeah.
So that's what it is for me. That's my answer. Like, I'm quicker to walk away now only because we always talk about how much I value my time, only because I can see now, it's almost like I can see the forest for the trees, where back in the day you would be in love and you're like, girl, you couldn't say, is that a tree? Is that a painting? Is that a forest? Like, what the heck? You don't know what it is. But now you can see the individual leaves on the tree and you can say, these are the kinds of leaves that come from these kinds of seeds, and those kinds of seeds are not good for my life.
Ah, I love that
It's
analogy.
a different thing now.
You're full of metaphors today.
You're so funny. But that's
very
where it is.
Metaphorical mood.
That's where it is. And you get me. So you see how we can build on, instead of our relationship being, even when we've had our to me, I feel like our conflicts have been few. But even when we've had them, because we both come into the conversation with a desire to solve, a desire open hearts, and a desire to have create a resolution. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a lot of safety in that.
Are we lost? Are we not? Are we real? Are we turning to dust? Do you feel what I feel? Have we changed so damn much? Can we heal? You're not saying a word. Oh, it feels so unreal. We lost all ambition.
So this is bringing up a couple different things for me. I think that you are better at cutting it off when you realize that it's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad I let you go first, because now it's taking me on a trip down memory lane through a few of the different relationships I've had that have been unhealthy for me. And I have not been known to say I'm out. I have been known to hang on for dear life.
Wow.
Because I love that person. And there's this love that just defies reason. This person is not giving anything back to me, or they're only giving me aggravation, or they're flaky, or they're just not showing up and they're not giving me what I need. And I've always had that quality where it's almost like there's something else they're giving me. I forget who keeps telling me that they really don't like a collector of people, but I think I am a collector of people, because I have trouble letting go of people when I feel that that's a really unique friendship in my life, or that it's a really unique person that I've never encountered that person before. I've noticed through editing the podcast that I say the type of person constantly. Like, I categorize people and build archetypes of people based on personality patterns. And also my brother really, really pushes back on my incessant need to categorize people.
That's funny.
But it's just the way that I put together, like I said, patterns of personality traits. I just noticed that certain personality traits go together. And sometimes when I encounter someone who's just really unique, either objectively or just to me, I have so much trouble letting them go, and I'll hold on even if the relationship is not mutual, even if it's not healthy for me. And that's been a pattern. So now that while you're speaking, now my mind is sort of freewheeling back into the past. And there's two major relationships that I held on to, even though I wasn't really getting what I needed. And both of those people are still in my life, actually. And then there's two other people where the type of trespass was a deal breaker for me. And I did say, I'm out. So with the ones, I'm trying to figure out what was the what was the last straw or something with the ones that didn't work out. Because I do have a lot of burned bridges as well. So I can certainly relate to relationships that didn't work out.
But then I have a question about the 2 that you still have. Are those 2 relationships producing dividends?
One is very much so. So my one friend, for years and years and years, I just felt like I was the one pursuing the friendship. I was the one pursuing the friendship. I thought they were so incredibly special. I was obsessed. My brother was like, why are you putting this person on a pedestal?
Mm-hmm.
And I just believed in them, and I loved them, and I was really attached to what I perceived as their uniqueness and what they gave me. It's not, obviously it is about what they gave me. It's not like I'm holding on to something that's only bad for me.
Yeah.
The piece that they gave me, sometimes those moments just were few and far between, but I still, whether it was that, with this particular person, it was like they just really made me laugh. They showed me music that was really meaningful to me, and that's not something I have with anyone else. So maybe that was the main thing, is because I'm so musically oriented and there's so few people that share my musical taste. So it was really special to me that we shared this, and that was a very big thing for me. And because I kind of like B-sides, but sometimes I think B-sides are better than A-sides, but it's hard to find those B-sides because they're not promoted in the same way. So this person was just delivering them to me like clockwork, and it was amazing. And songs that change your life, music changes your life and it moves you. And so there was something a very deep current that I had with this person, but they were not showing up for me. I felt like they didn't even care about me at all, but they were going through something in their own life.
Yeah.
And then that person, I just held on and held on and held on, like against all reason, and they came back around.
Okay.
And now they're someone who's really important to me, and we are rebuilding, and there's damage that's done because I think I still have it in my mind that I can't expect anything back from this person. I have to carry the friendship. I've resigned myself to that because that's, sometimes in one psychology class I took, they said that people think that attitudes predict behaviors, meaning this is my value system and therefore I act like this. But it's actually behaviors that predict attitudes. Like you act a certain way and then you discover your own attitudes by that. So if I was going to predict my belief system, I would say, no, I would never enter into a friendship or maintain a friendship where I do 100% of the work.
Yeah.
But my behavior was that I was repeatedly showing up to do 100% of the work. And then that creates, this is all just straight from the psychology class, but that creates what's called psychological dissonance, which means there's a mismatch now between my beliefs and my behavior.
Yep.
So what's got to give? The belief. Because the behavior it's a real thing that's occurring on the ground. The behavior, could I change the behavior? Of course I could, but it just seems like something's pulling me towards this person. It feels involuntary. My love of them, the way I'm drawn to them. And other people might think it's crazy. I don't particularly care. This is like where my heart is leading me. And this is a platonic relationship. It's like I have strong, my brother thinks I'm obsessed with my friends, and he's right. I am obsessed. I love my friends. So yeah, that is changing now. And it's actually interesting because we just had a conversation recently where I said I have kind of been floating this relationship, and they were like, I'm gonna try to do better. And like what I know, and what more could you want? Isn't that so heartwarming after decades? And those are the ones I have the hardest time letting go of. So the other one that I'm still friends with, which has less of a return, is my friend who I mentioned in last week's episode, the helper's high, the person who would just call and just dump on me for years and years and years. And with that person, who's also still in my life, I had a conversation with them. I couldn't let go of them. Again, with the attitudes and the behaviors, I knew intellectually that this relationship was not giving me anything and that it was draining me and making me feel angry at times, and it was bringing me down. And I knew intellectually that I just shouldn't pursue something like that, but this was my best friend.
Yeah.
There's this one Ani DeFranco song where she says there's nothing like looking at your own history in the faces of your friends. This person means a lot to me. She has gone through some stuff as well, but I was having trouble letting her go. So I ended up having a conversation with her where I just said, hey, can you come over? I really need to talk to you. And then I told her everything that I had been thinking and feeling for the last 10 years. I literally said, I have been holding you at arm's length for the better part of 10 years.
Wow.
I said, I feel that you're not listening to me. I feel that this is a completely one-sided friendship. I feel like you're stepping on my words all the time. I said every single thing that had been on my heart. And she, to her credit, listened, was completely silent for the entire time I was talking. I probably spoke for about 5 minutes. And then she said to me, wow, that must have been incredibly difficult.
Wow.
And I felt so heard.
Yeah.
And the relationship has not necessarily been reborn overnight. It is still a relationship that I cherish, and it also is still a relationship that I can't necessarily always be open and available to. But I cherish it. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess I just really do love, and I have trouble letting go of people. And I don't know if that's something that needs to be strengthened or whether it's okay to just have less frequent interactions with people, Like you said, it's just sometimes there's just a person who it's like, hey, let's grab dinner twice a year, once a quarter,
Yeah.
And because when I do, like, to answer your original question, when I do have a dinner with them, I love it. I love this person.
Yeah.
So
there is an amazing quality about you. And I just want to say something, and I don't want you to chime in because you will love to break the third wall. I want to say that years ago, Jen and I had an issue. This is all I'm going to say about this because I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But Jen and I had an issue, and it was totally a Betina thing. It was a Betina issue. I was wrong. The way I handled it was wrong. I was going through a season. The world was changing, but I didn't have an excuse for the way that I responded to my friend. And these qualities that she's speaking of in this moment explains to me, it helps me understand how we can be here, I don't know, 5 or 6 years later after that event, how we can be here creating something and as close as we are today. But it's because of these that ineffable quality that you have, that way that you love the people that you're in relationship with, that never giving up spirit. Anyone else in that season would have cut me off. And so I'm grateful. This is all I want to say about this, because when we're ready to talk about it, we will. When I'm ready to talk about it, we will. But anyone else would have cut me off. And I'm grateful for the way that you are. And then the second thing I want to say is, you were talking about how much you love music. And I don't know that our listeners know that you're responsible for all of the music on our episodes that I absolutely love. And I hope they love it as much as I do, because
you are breaking the third wall.
I am all the way, but I just wanted to share these two things because I just want to give you your flowers right there, because you're so amazing.
Thanks for the props.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of weird that I got. Your songs are in my head, it's on repeat. The awkward dance I do, but
I want to also touch upon one more thing that you had mentioned, which is, you mentioned having trouble with the receiving side of things when someone asks you, hey, can I do this for you? And you say no. And I have been thinking a lot about that because you told me I needed to do some receiving work, and you were absolutely right. And that was a really well-placed and well-timed feedback for me because I was in a place where I was open to receiving that, and it has really informed how I've tried to proceed. And I think that in the West, meaning just Western cultures, especially in America in particular, I remember in high school learning about the history of America and being introduced to the concept of rugged individualism.
Yeah.
And there's a real value placed on self-sufficiency. So I think that it's not our fault necessarily that we feel like there's some element of pride around our ability to not need any help from anyone. But I was reoriented when I came into recovery because I was now in a community that really emphasizes the need for interdependency. And so that has been a real process, learning how to let other people help, because it still is my reflex to say no. I don't need help with that. Do you want something? No. Do you want a drink? No, I'm good. And feeling I don't want to inconvenience that person. But here's the thing. I think I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. I don't remember where I heard it. It was on some type of podcast type of thing where they told this story of this person who would pass the same pastry car every day in the city. And they would have that loose ties thing where they always would smile at the person and they would always buy the pastry from the same place. And the one day, the person who was buying the pastry didn't have the right change or didn't have the right amount. And the cart vendor said, don't worry about it. But the person who was buying the pastry was all flustered. No, I have to get the money for you. And then they went into a different store to go get the $1 or the $2 or whatever it is and come back to the cart. And when they got back to the cart, they were surprised that the vendor just looked crestfallen.
Hurt.
Yeah. And then they walked away kind of confused. And then they spoke to someone about it later. And that person said, it's because you denied that person
the opportunity
to do a good deed for today. And that is cruel in a way.
It is.
So your need for self-sufficiency superseded your giving this gift to someone of allowing them to help you, because it makes people feel good to help people. Doesn't it feel so good to give a gift? Doesn't it feel so good to have a conversation where you help someone? So if someone is, especially for you, because you're all about cooking and this and that, and it's like, you know how good that makes you feel. It makes you, it reinforces your own goodness. And we need that. Everybody needs that. So I am working on that too, not still just trying to rewire my brain to let other people help me. And I'm really good at it when it comes to advice and things like that. Like my number one tool in my toolbox basically is to call someone. As soon as I start to feel any type of way, I'm right away on the phone trying to get help for myself. And I feel entitled to that. And I feel that I deserve that.
I love
and it
that.
took years for me to get there. But I'm not thinking I'm bothering you at all because I know how good it makes me feel to help someone when they call me. So that is very reciprocal, and I understand that. But it's still a little bit hard. Like even when I go over to my sister-in-law's house or something and she says, oh, can I get you something? Like, can I make you something? Food? I'm like, no. You know, like it's hard. It's hard to navigate that. But
it's funny because I'm in this place. So the way I was raised to help the community, right? But then I also felt for some reason that I had to do everything for myself. Like I was a big part of the community, helping the community because I was the oldest kid. But at the same time,
Yes,
when it
that
came
explains a
to
lot.
me, I felt like I had to do everything for myself. And so that
You
is the
did, kind of,
exact
you
same
know?
dynamic that's going on in my adult life. And so
Yes, it
I just
followed you.
remembered recently telling someone, and I was going to save this for another episode, but I feel like it can be said twice, that a friend of mine, as she's working with her family and traveling with her family, that she should lean on her community. Like it really does take a village to raise a child. But at the same time, you have a willing village here in your immediate vicinity that would love to support you and take some things off
that's a
your
hard one.
plate, right? But at the same time, I should take my own advice because that same person that I was giving that instruction to is the person that's always calling me, hey, do you need anything? And I'm like, no. And what it is, there may be something that I might want, but is it a need? No. Is it worth you having to drive to my house? No, but I appreciate the call. Thank you. I can go without. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so in our efforts to be a part to create the community that we want, because if we're going to be in this season of love, we actually can't walk out of the season of community. We just need to blend the two together. And so in this season of love, it's going to be important to not only be a part, like contribute to the community, but also allow the community to contribute to you. And that's my lesson in this conversation.
Do you know what that just made me realize? Because when you were talking about our friend who, OG listener, who we both adore, even though I've never met her, I related to that so strongly because when the first time you told me, I wasn't thinking about this, but then just when you said it now, I realized that I'm in that same exact situation with, so my sponsor's parents are basically like my surrogate parents. I really adore them. They are those people for me that are, you know, top of my obsession list. Every time I see them, I just cherish it. But they are always asking me, they're saying, I will take your kids, I will help you.
Yes.
And you would think that if I would lean into that kind of surrogate parent offer, that I would take advantage of that. But I don't. And the line, like the boundary with me, it's like, it's just something that I reflexively say no to, and I don't even think of it when I need someone to take care of my kids, which we don't really have. We can't give our kids to either one of our parents, so we have a very tough time ever going somewhere without the kids. Like we don't have those type of parents that you can drop the kids off with so that you can go away for the weekend. That is not our situation. So the thing is that when you were speaking, it made me realize something, which is that part of why I say no for me, and this is probably not everybody else, but is that I then feel a sense of indebtedness to them. And then I don't know how to handle that. So for example, if I were to give my kids to them for the weekend, this is so stupid. And I know that this is only me, but I don't know what's the proper thing that now I need to give back to you to say thank you for doing that. It's like in my mind, there's now an IOU, and I'm really bad at that type of stuff. Like I wasn't raised to understand like social cues kind of thing. Like I never knew that you have to bring something when you go to a party. I never really got the whole thank you card thing. Like sometimes I feel like the rest of the world has been given this manual of how to behave and what social customs are, and I didn't get it. And I didn't get the memo and I didn't get the manual. So it's overwhelming to me to participate in a relationship that's give and take like that, because it's easier for me just to not have to feel that sense of indebtedness. Like this woman I was talking to recently, she told me that she watched her friend's kids while they went on vacation for like a week. And then when the friend came back, she only brought her this little gift. But she felt that the gift should have been much more thoughtful and much more significant considering the level of the burden. And that proved to me that I would not know how to navigate the situation because I don't know.
Okay, so how I see it, if we're a part of a community, right? If my how I see it is my sister is just as responsible for my kids as I am. I'm just as responsible for her kids as she is,
But it's
right?
easier with family. With a
But
friend, it's
no, so
blurrier.
this is what I'm about to say. If you're building a community, the community and the family lines blur. If you're a part of a community, then I'm just as responsible for your kids as if I'm in your community. Now, so if I am, so for the person that I was saying, send me the list when you have a list a week and let me pick things off that list that I would gladly do for you. And here's the thing, if you're doing it once a quarter, who's mad? I'm not mad. I would love to come and pick up the kids on a Saturday, like, oh, it's my Saturday, to take the kids off their hands. And it's nothing because this is the thing. When you're, if it's a community, if it's a real community, then those lines of friendship really aren't there. That line of indebtedness doesn't exist. You don't owe me because I've picked up your kids. You know, that's where community gets really created. You don't have
to. But in this situation, this woman, also the backstory of it is that she feels like this person takes and takes and takes and takes.
And that so is, there are those people too, though.
Yeah. So if it's a community and it's really and truly give and take and there's some level of equality there.
Yes.
I can understand how you wouldn't feel indebted because the energy is moving in a circle and it's going back and forth and it's going round and round. But in this situation, I guess I would be afraid to be the person who's always taking because I always need the kid help.
But no, if you're intentional though, and the way I see you now, this is just me, maybe it's just my purview because of the things that we discuss, but the way that I see you, you're always looking to give, you're always looking to serve, you're always looking to invite and celebrate and things like that. So I don't see that as taking. So it's funny. I'm going to use Misty. When I go over to Misty's house, she's asking me, I'm like, Misty, you don't have to cook. Like, I live 5 minutes away, first of all. So 9 times out of 10, I've probably eaten before I come to your house. But she's like, what do you want? And I'm like, a big salad. She makes the best salads ever. She makes Betina's kind of salad with the whole, every vegetable in the world in it. And she just does it right. And I'm like, I want a big salad. That's what I want. And she'll make me the best salads ever. And I probably did eat before I left the house, but I want a Misty salad. You know what I mean? But I allow that. But the reason I don't feel the indebtedness, because I want her to call me and say, this is what I need. Can you help me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm 5 minutes away and I want to be a part of your community. Make sense?
Yeah.
But when it's like that, there's no feeling of I don't feel I'm indebted to you because I asked for the big salad last week, which was probably a heavy lift because you had to go and get all of those 800 vegetables, you know?
Yeah. But I think that's also because you'll have equal opportunity to give, whereas with these particular people, it's always me at their house. It's always me eating at their house, bringing my kids to their house. Like, it's very one-sided in terms of both the expense and the hosting territory. So I think I already feel a little bit like you're already including me in every single family event. I'm already so indebted to you. How could I possibly then ask for even more?
So then here's where the confrontational conversation comes in. What can I do for you? You do so much for me and you're always asking me to help. And I'm really thinking about taking you up on more of the help you offer me. But what can I do? And then when they say you don't owe us nothing, that's because this is a community, boo.
That's because you have to take them at their word if they say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh, that's complicated.
It is. But I mean, the thing is, we need more of this. And less of the rugged individualism, less of the separatism, less of the isms.
Come together
right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Food for thought.
Things aren't always what they seem, so don't believe everything you read. You and I won't happen again.
into our recipes now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this one's interesting for me. So today's recipe is
Know when to fold.
Know when to fold. The dish
Perfect.
that
Since we talked about your poker parties earlier.
And Kenny Loggins. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away. You gotta know, girl. But so know when to fold is the dish that teaches you when to stop adding. When I think of this, I think of meringues. I think of quiches.
That's not where I thought you were going with this.
No, but I'm gonna go the simplistic route, which is a vegetable omelet.
Oh, I thought you were going to take us into meringue territory.
No, because I'm not really good at that. I'm still practicing. I wish I could confidently talk about a meringue.
Season, maybe.
And I really want to perfect a quiche. I had a friend, back in the day whose mom would make me quiche. But I want to perfect a quiche. But I think about those as you have to add the ingredients at a certain time and you stop. And the simplest way to think about that is with an omelet. To me, when I'm making my omelets, I lay my eggs. I have all my vegetables chopped and sauteed. I love all the vegetables. You guys know this about me. Do you guys know that my recipes are the same thing, just different versions? Have you noticed that? Yeah. Eggs and vegetables just go together for me. They go together real bad for me. And so I cut and saute all my vegetables with a little olive or avocado oil. And then when I'm laying them on the omelet, it's like I like to let my eggs get a little bit crusty around, like get a little bit firm around the edges, lay them down, lay my vegetables, lay my cheese, and put my little seasonings in there. Whatever, if I'm going to go with a cream, I might do a cream sauce. I'm into sauces right now. But if I'm doing a cream sauce or something, I'll lay it over the top. But I feel like the egg, like with an omelet, you have to stop adding at the right time, because if you don't flip it at the right time, if you don't close it up at the right time, it's kind of ruined. Yeah. It's a texture thing.
Know when to fold them. You have the double entendre in this one.
When to hold them, know when to fold them. Do you like the entendre there?
Yeah, I do. You know I do. I'm all about wordplay.
But that's mine. That's mine. A veggie omelet. You got to know when to fold it.
Good one. So mine is going to be every dish. I do not know when to fold them. I remember one time when I was living with Uncle Bob, I made this pasta, and the pasta, this is my recipe, but don't use it because it's not good. I haven't mastered it, but it was this pasta. There used to be this place in the East Village called Cafe Orlin that I used to go to when I think I was in college. So it would be during the summers when I was in college. We'd always be hanging out in the city. And it was called Cafe Orlin, and they had this pasta that was basically so it had mushrooms, and it had sun-dried tomatoes, and then it had fresh mozzarella. Yeah. And it was really, really insanely delicious. I'm not exactly sure what else was in there. I mean, surely it had garlic. But as for the sauce, it wasn't a tomato sauce. It wasn't like a cooked tomato sauce. I think it was just like oil and garlic, but it might have had some level of fresh tomato in there a little bit. Yes. But it was a little bit creamy. And I don't know if it was creamy because maybe the mozzarella was really burrata. It was wild. It was just delicious. So I tried to create that one time at Uncle Bob's house when I lived there in LA or in Glendora. And he just kept saying to me, he's like, you have added too many ingredients here. And he's like, I remember in exact words, he said, it makes for a very confusing dish. And he's right. It is my tendency to overcomplicate, both in thought processes and in cooking. So the stir fry that I made the other night was a perfect example of that. I could have just let the shrimp live as is. But instead, at the last minute, I was like, let me dump a quarter of a bottle of hoisin sauce and some Japanese barbecue sauce? What? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So I don't know. It's the same with pastas. It's, I tend to start thinking we need more flavor. And then it's really detracting from just the flavor of what it is. So I can't really contribute a recipe today because it's just something that I need to work on that both in my life and in my cooking to just go simple. Just do a salt and a pepper and an olive oil and just leave it at that, and some garlic, or the trifecta. Do the celery, onion, bell pepper, or do the bell pepper, onion, tomato, and don't go crazy with it. I just made beans last night. We did Mexican food, and my beans are just black beans, jalapenos, onions, and then cumin, salt, pepper. So then what am I doing going around here?
A lot of times.
Yeah, it's good, but then here's what I did. I went in and I added some tomato paste. Okay, but maybe hold it there. No, then all of a sudden I'm like, we need this other thing. And it's like, no, you don't. Leave it. So that's just what I'm working on. So I don't really have a particular recipe, but take what you will from that.
Yeah, simple is better.
Mm-hmm.
Know when to fold them.
Simplicity is key. Yes.
Okay,
I don't know when to fold them.
I don't know about you, Jen, but for me, that was another amazing episode of What's the Temp podcast. I don't know.
I feel satiated, as I always do.
Thank you for joining us. Be great on purpose.
Have a great 24. Peace.